Hi, guys. All right. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. All right. So I asked what this reading was going to be about, and I was told a new day, a new direction, major change is coming. So, first and foremost, the thing that pops in my head when I think of a new day and a new direction, major changes coming, I think of how if you continue to react to the same situations in the same way, um, you're going to have the same situation. It's not going to change. Nothing's going to change. So, this is really about allowing yourself to get to a space where you no longer allow the same things. Why does my hair look like this? You no longer allow the same things to continue to have the same effects on you. Okay. So, first, let's breathe. First, let's just breathe. Let's just get that breath out of there. Okay. Some people will want to have certain types of effect on you. And you just kind of got to not. You just kind of got to not. You just kind of got to not. Okay. Let's pull some cards. Sorry, I'm a little bit late today. I'll pull some cards. Oops, sorry. Then we'll pull more cards. How are you guys doing, by the way? Okay. All right. Okay. I guess that they needed that many cards. I don't know. All right, here goes. So, fragment in reverse. This is about allowing yourself to reclaim the parts of you that have kind of been given away, that have been lost, that you perceive was taken. When we give passive permission for people to take parts of us, parts of our identity, it's still us giving permission. I'm not saying you deserve it. I'm not saying you asked for that. I'm saying if you have to give permission, even passive permission, that means you also have the option of not giving permission, not allowing your energy to flow in that direction that someone is trying to dictate your energy flows to. When you begin to understand this, you begin to understand how powerful you actually are in your life, how much you can influence your journey, how much you can create for yourself. That goes for good things and hardship, both. You can create both for yourself, okay? When you continue to deal with these types of things, it then becomes an issue. When you deal with it once or twice, okay, no biggie, it's just an inconvenience. When you continue to deal with it, several months, several years, it's the same old, same old, same old. That's an issue at that point. That's an actual issue, and it needs much more careful and calibrated response from you. Something new is coming. Something is changing. And if you're going to stay in the same mindset that you've been in, whatever is new, it will become the same thing as every single old thing. Your situations continue to be the same because you don't allow the change to occur within you. Okay? If you are drawn, let's give an example, okay? If you have a specific type when it comes to dating, and every single time you date someone, oh my gosh, they end up, first they're super sweet, and then it doesn't take long before they end up being just horrible to you, treating you poorly, um, calling you names, like all of these different things. So, what is it exactly? Is it something about you, or is it what you pick? Are you still in a mindset of self punishment? And so the only ones that you pay attention to when it comes to dating are the people that, on some level, some level, you know they have the capacity to maltreat you, and so that's who you select. And then you go back into the same old patterns that lead to the same maltreatment. Again, it's not this thing of that's what you deserve and that's what you get and that's what you wanted. No, no. It's this thing about seeing how the patterns continue to repeat because you're selecting the same players, the same type of characters. You are reverting to the same type of behavioral patterns. If you want change, change has to be allowed to permeate through your entirety. The whole you has to be allowed to naturally shift and change. Okay. So that's definitely something we have to be aware of, allowing that natural shift. It can be 1 degree at a time. It doesn't have to be like you did a 180, you're a completely different person now. Like, you're not going to be able to sustain that long term. Whatever this major change that's coming, I want it to be good for you. I want it to be something that's fruitful. I want it to be something that helps to solidify this shift in your belief that you deserve more than what you have allowed yourself to receive. There was this thing that I saw, right? And it was a really, really profound thing. Hold on, I want to quote it here. Just because you don't require a lot in order to be happy doesn't mean you deserve only the bare minimum. That's powerful. I'll put this on the screen. Hold on. Hold the phone. I am holding the phone. Hold on. Let me get it on the screen. Close out that window and share this screen. Share screen. So here we go. Ooh, I forgot to do all the setting changes. Okay, so there it is, guys. Just because you don't require a lot in order to be happy doesn't mean you deserve only the bare minimum. I want us all to kind of just take a moment. Just like take a moment. Do you do that? Do you do that where it's like it doesn't take a lot to make you happy. So is that a case of like you being very low maintenance, or is that a case of you simply, I don't know. I don't know. Is that a case of you settling? Settling for less than what you actually deserve? You know, like do you intentionally make it a point to not ask for the things you actually need, to not allow yourself to receive the things you actually need? Just because like you don't want to be a bother, you don't want to this, you don't want to that. I mean, what is that really about? Like, read that sentence a few times. See where inside you feel that. Excuse me. Because if you resonate with that, if it applies to you, gosh, first and foremost, I see you, I feel you, I understand. First and foremost. Secondly, and equally as important, you will feel exactly what part of you allows for this to occur. You'll feel it. You'll feel it resonate in that part of you, in that specific location within your body. You will feel it. What will we feel? I don't know. It's different for everyone. It's really, really different for everyone. Um, do you feel sick in that area? Do you feel, I don't know, do you feel a little bit dizzy? Do you feel discomfort? Do you feel pressure? That's where you hold that trauma. That's where inside your body that you hold that trauma. Like, ooh, just because you don't require a lot in order to be happy doesn't mean you deserve only the bare minimum. We are not here to simply survive. Take it in. Really take it in. We are not here to simply survive life. We are here to go beyond survival and into a space of thriving. When will you allow yourself to thrive? When will you give yourself permission? When will you allow yourself to get the permission you need to go into this space that's beyond healthy, a space where you're not just seeking to sustain yourself, because that's still a form of survival. This is a space where you are in excess of happiness, excess of health. Whew, yes, that's what this change can do for you if you allow it. Well, Emmy, how do I allow it? You find the places within you that still resist, that still go ahead and puts on some loudspeaker inside your head and your heart, telling you don't deserve that. You don't deserve good things. Like you're asking for too much, you're being too much, you're such a burden. One of the things that I began telling myself, because I used to struggle with this severely, I do still struggle, but not severely. Layers and levels, right? So one of the things that I used to tell myself is that I'm too much. Like it's difficult to handle me because I'm too much. And one day I woke up and I kind of was just like, well, then they need to find someone less. If I'm too much, they need to go ahead, leave me alone, and find someone that's less than. There's plenty of people in this world who are willing to be less than. Not me, not anymore. Not me, not anymore. And you got to breathe after you say that. Just letting yourself take in a new breath in order to begin a new type of communication, exhaling that old stale thought form, that old stale type of existence. You got to breathe it out, literally. You got to breathe it out. Just breathe it out. It can be that simple. That can be the start of this lifelong journey to this space of self empowerment, this space of just really falling in love with yourself. I've been in the process of falling in love with myself for quite a few years now. And I told my husband a few months ago, like, if I wasn't me, I'd hang out with myself. I would. If I wasn't me, I'd hang out with myself. I don't think I'm better than anyone. I feel like I don't even need to compare to anyone. I don't need to compare myself. And that takes the ego out of it. This is strictly a self contained, self love type of observation. I actually like myself these days, even my attitude. Yeah. I used to feel badly for having the attitude that I have. Now I realize that attitude comes out when I need it to come out, not when I choose. When someone invites it out of me, that's when it comes out. But I still have the power, the authority to decide if I want to allow it out. And so comes this thing of, now if it needs to be allowed out, then by all means, go play, baby, go play. Go play. You know, we are so hypercritical of who we are when it comes to dealing with people who don't care who you are. They don't care who you are. And I'm not talking about like, do you not know I'm Emmy? Like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? There's millions of other people named Emmy in this world. Who cares? No, I'm talking about these are the people who don't care what you've struggled through, who don't care how hard you've worked to grow yourself. They don't care about what your needs are as a human being. They don't care about, upholding your dignity, treating you with dignity. And you care what they think about you. They don't think about you, period. They want what they want and they will get what they want. Not with me, you won't. And some would be that, the ones that lack an invitation. No, it's a declaration. It's a declaration. It's not a game to me. It's not a game. Like for them, it's a game. Stop playing. So then it's not a game. If I'm not playing, then that means it's real. That means it's real. One of my kids was talking to me yesterday, and it's one of my younger ones, and we're learning about sarcasm. My sarcasm be so advanced, it's ridiculous. It be so advanced, is ridiculous. And so he hasn't quite figured out sarcasm yet. And he says, I don't like your jokes, Mom. I'm like, what? Like, what joke did I tell that you don't like? And he tells me, the ones where I think you're serious. I can't tell if you're serious or if you're joking. And I was like, oh, you don't like my sarcasm? He goes, yes, those jokes. I don't like those jokes, Mommy. And I was like, okay. I will try my best to not be as sarcastic as I am. I'm serious. I will try my best to not be as sarcastic as I am. And that's the thing. That's the thing. If people receive your actions, your declarations, your boundaries as though it's a joke, they will treat it and you as though you're a joke. See, I'm joking and my kid doesn't know. One of my younger ones doesn't know about the nuances of sarcasm. He's like, I don't know when you're joking, Mommy. I can't tell if you're joking or if you're serious. It hurts my feelings. And I'm just like, okay, I will try my best to not be sarcastic around you. When it comes to the things you're saying or doing, I will try my best to not be sarcastic. There is no need for me to be like, oh, you're just being sensitive. No, he is a sensitive person. And I have to honor that. I have to take into consideration that he is not receiving my communication in a healthy way. And so I need to modify myself because I love him. I love him. I respect him. I want to uphold his dignity. If you're dealing with someone who can't have that stance when you communicate your needs, when you communicate how you are receiving their communication, and they can't take accountability, I could have easily been like, I'll just learn to take a joke. Like, no. I asked him what joke upset you, and he let me know all the jokes. All your jokes suck. No, he didn't say that. He's just like, the ones where I can't tell if you're serious or if you're joking. Like, oh, that's called sarcasm. It's called sarcasm. You say something and you're joking, but you say it in a way like you're serious. I will refrain from that as much as I possibly can. When someone loves you, you don't have to explain these things. You don't have to explain these things. They will naturally like, oh, you know what? I crossed the boundary. I crossed the line. I remember like maybe a month or so ago, I had just finished working and it had been a long ass day. It had been a long day. And I told my husband, like, I want to go eat. And we were about to watch a family movie. And what I meant was, like, can we make something in the kitchen and then eat while watching our family movie? And I think he thought that what I was trying to say was I wanted to go out to eat. And I had just told him, like, we need to stop doing that. Like, I don't know. It's like we're getting too used to that, you know? And so he says to me something along the lines of, like, you want to eat again? I was just like, and he's like, and I was like, fine, I won't eat then. And he explains to me that, like, we already ate out earlier that day. And I was like, I wasn't talking about eating out. And I was really upset because it's like, are you regulating how much I eat? You know? And that's not what he was doing at all. And when he realized that it upset me, he took the time, because if I get upset, I get real quiet. Like, I'm not even going to joke with you. I'm not going to explain anything, whatever. He took the time to explain to me that it was a misunderstanding on his part. And, he went to go make me something. And It's this thing of because he loves me. He could have easily been like, oh, you're tripping. You shouldn't be mad because I didn't understand what you said. Mm-mm. You don't get to tell me how to receive what you communicated to me. If it really meant a lot to you that I receive your communication in the way you wanted me to receive it, you should have took more time and effort to make sure that you communicate it in a way that actually tells me what you mean. See how that works? The same thing applies for when I communicate with someone and it doesn't come out in the way that I'm intending it to. If I care about you, if I love you, I will take the time to explain to you, to communicate, to clear things up. If I don't care, I don't care. You took it in whatever way you wanted. Okay, fine. I don't got to explain anything because I don't care. We have to normalize not caring. We just do because we don't have to care about everything. We don't have to bleed for everyone. You have a limited amount of blood in your body. You don't have to consistently cut yourself and bleed just to show someone that you care, especially if that someone you're doing this for does not reciprocate that depth of caring. It's okay to not care. It's okay to not be bothered. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to pretend to be a saint. You know, those saints were not necessarily treated properly as people, as living people. It was only after they died that they got the title of saint. In order for you to be seen as a saint, you have to die every single time. Oh, that's why people call me an asshole because I don't care. And I would call them entitled brats. Why do I have to care about you if you don't take the time to understand why I don't care about what it is you're trying to force me to care about? I'd say it's pretty assholish of them to have that expectation of you, Universal D. I would say that a lot. You know, like the people who will tell you the moment you begin to fall in love with yourself, they'll tell you, like, oh my God, you're so full of yourself. And then I would be like, did you want me to be full of you? Is that what it is? You want me to be just like you? That's pretty cocky of you. You must think you're amazing, don't you? You think you're that amazing that your preference is the only appropriate thing? That's cute. Wonder what it's like raising someone like you. Yeah, that's shitty. That's a shitty person. I mean, if we're going to be judgmental, let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. If I'm going to mirror someone, I'm going to mirror them to the umpteenth degree. Mm-hmm. Yep, because sometimes people need to see how ridiculous their behavior. Sometimes, emphasis on sometimes, they need to see how ridiculous their behavior is. They really, really do. If I'm going to mirror you, it's going to be a funhouse mirror. I'm just saying, it's going to be a funhouse mirror, and then I'm going to totally throw it in your face, like, but you did that. That's what you do. You don't like it, then don't do it, and I won't have to mirror you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, and people don't like that. They don't like when you begin to make the changes that are necessary, the creating boundaries and enforcing those boundaries in order for you to move out of that space of keeping you confined to that same cycle of fragmentation. Individuality in reverse. They don't want you to be an individual. These are the types of environments that really, really need you to exit out of them. Not fix the environment, not clean it up, not cultivate, like exit. Here's the thing. You can cultivate a garden, but if the soil is contaminated with radioactive material, that is a contaminated garden. No matter how much ornamentals you plant there, whatever you plant that's meant to feed people, that's going to be contaminated. See, people will think like, oh, I could totally make my own garden and grow my own food. I'm going to put them in old plastic containers. What type of plastic is that? Because when you heat plastic in the sun, the chemicals start to leach into the soil. The soil are where the roots are. When you wet the soil, the plant drinks from the soil. Whatever chemicals are now in the soil is now in your plant. Whatever's in your plant will be in the fruits and veggies that plant grows. What are you eating? And then you thought, right? Like, I'm healthier than you because I don't eat McDonald's. It's the same thing, baby boo. It's the same thing because now it's laced with the same carcinogens that Mickey D's got. It's the same thing, right? So when you're in an environment that is that toxic, you simply have one solution: exit. Exit. Exit, exit. You got to get out of there. Okay. For many Pisceans, many empaths, we think that we can love someone into wholeness. They're already a whole being, even without your love. The problem is not they aren't whole. The problem is somewhere within their wholeness lies the toxicity that is poisoning you because of your proximity. This right here, this right here. Those closest to me have struggled so much with me choosing me that they constantly say I have become selfish. I choose to set boundaries now and it triggers them. Let it be a gun show, baby boo. That's what it needs to be. Let them be triggered. That's my personal opinion. Because I dealt with that same type of environment. And what I love the most about my husband is not only does he tolerate me as I am, my behaviors, my quirks, and all of that, he celebrates it, he defends it, he protects it. So he's helped me to learn, yes, your family is going to be who they are. But if your life partner is the same type of toxicity as your family, why the hell are they your partner? Because you can get your daily dosage of toxicity from relatives. You see what I'm saying? I'm not married because it's convenient and it's all I know. I'm married because this man continues to help me to grow in ways that I did not realize I could grow just by simply existing as my partner in life. My marriage is something I choose every day. Why? Because I cherish this man for what he has done for me in regards to my perception of myself and my place within my life. Because he's a giver as well. But you best believe he has no problem telling me, don't you think you gave enough? And I'll be like, ew, just one last time. And he'll be like, mm-hmm. And if I try and give again, he's going to be like, I thought you said that was the last time, the last time. Like, what are you doing? And then I have to be like, fine. But I need that. I need that. I need that. I need someone who loves me enough to be willing to disappoint me with their words because what I need to hear is the truth. I'm just saying. Now, I don't know if anyone should be ending their marriage. I'm just sharing my perception. Like, I could do toxic by myself. I don't need someone who I'm not even biologically related to adding to my toxicity and self-hatred. I don't need that. Yeah, I don't need that. Um, and it's this very real thing of if I'm going to be super duper toxic for my husband and unhealthy for him, I will have that conversation with him. Like, you know what? I clearly make you unhappy. What do you want to do? Do you want to try? Do you, it's not just about me. It's about what we can do for each other. And if one of us is going to be very unhealthy for the other, that needs to just, no, that shouldn't be allowed to continue. Either we're both going to make the commitment to correct it, counseling, whatever it is you guys need to do, or it's just going to need to be terminated. If someone does not want to put the effort, the same depth of effort that you are willing to put, I don't know. Sounds like prolonging the inevitable. You know, I wouldn't say that leaving is just the best answer. Sometimes people don't understand the gravity of their behavior until that very real conversation of like, what do we need to do? Is it time to call it quits? Until that occurs. I'm not talking about ultimatums, because I promise y'all, if you give me an ultimatum, I will do whatever it takes. Whatever option will secure your departure from my life, that is what I will select, whether I want it or not. That's how I handle ultimatums. Always. Even before I met my husband, always. You want to give me an ultimatum? Okay. Which one did you not want me to do? That's what I'm going to do. Are your bags packed? Because toodles, you know, I have very staunch beliefs when it comes to connections with other people. And I can have these very empowered, very independent beliefs and really stick to it, not just preach about it in an empty fashion, but really live that truth because I'm not afraid of being by myself. I've come to a point where I actually like myself. I know what I can accomplish on my own. And unless you're going to add to my happiness, my serenity, you don't need to be here. The only ones that can disturb my peace and have an entitlement to stay in my are my children. Like, unless you traverse my birth canal as part of your entry into this world, no, no, not even relatives. They will still be my relative, but will you have access to me? Probably not. Probably not. Why? Well, because I'm not dependent on you. I don't need you present to remind me of the toxic history that I've lived through. That still is with me. So I don't need you physically present for me to recall all the things that your toxicity helped me to learn as a child. And we have to begin having no apologies at all. Zero apologies. Not even like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm not sorry you feel that way. I would phrase it as, why do you feel you have the right to feel this way about my life decision? And really give them time to answer. That's not a rhetorical question. And if they don't answer, I would straight up say, that wasn't a rhetorical question. Why do you feel like you have the right to be upset about my self-care? What happened here? Did I do too much for you? Did I get you too comfortable with me giving, overgiving, and overgiving some more? Is that what happened? For that, I might apologize for allowing you to believe, for as long as I've allowed you to believe, that you are entitled to me in a way that you actually are not. But I want to know, what is it that caused you to feel you are entitled to be upset that I am on a self-healing journey? I promise y'all, when you start having those real, those raw conversations, asking point blank, a lot of change is going to come. Either they're going to realize and correct their approach because they love you, they want to do what they need to do to remain in your life, or you're making it inconvenient to use you. There's other people I can use that are not so inconvenient. At which point, that's not a loss. That's not a loss. Some people might see it as like, but I mean, I've been married for 20 something years, 30 something years. Like, I'm old already. Okay, first off, what? You are not old. Get over that. Seriously. You only feel old because you believe you are. So knock it off. Secondly, yes, I said what I said, and I said it matter of factly because it's a fact. Yes. So Secondly, um, I would rather get rid of the trash in my golden years than keep it with me when it's my time to shine. Let that sink in. I'm approaching the mid 40s, and I feel like I've finally gotten to a point where all of the childhood insecurities, young adulthood, all of that toxicity and yada, 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 I'm finally working through that. And so from this point forward, I just become more and more shiny and polished and just glow beautifully. I'm entering into my prime in a few years. I'm not over the hill. Are you kidding me? I'm not over the hill. I'm barely tapping into my prime, bitches. Wait till I'm 50. Hot shit, please. Please. Are you kidding me? What? Yeah, 40s are the new 20s. Please knock it off. Just stop. Don't make me laugh too hard. I have class to teach. Like, no, fuck that shit. Mm-mm. I'm not bringing my luggage from when I was 15, 20 years old into my freaking prime. I'm getting new luggage. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If I have to carry luggage, it's going to be top notch luggage. Why? I've acquired enough knowledge and wisdom that I can afford the top notch luggage. That's the only thing I'm carrying with me. Please stop it. Just no more of that. No more of that. It doesn't matter how long something's been in your life. When it's time for it to end, it's time for it to end. And just because you carry it along through every other part of your life does not mean it shouldn't have been like tossed out a long time ago. Okay, your favorite goldfish died, but you love it. It's been with you its entire life. You hatched it from its mama's belly. Like you love it. Are you going to carry that fish around with you? Like, is it, let's put it in these terms. You have this fur pet, fur baby, right? Um, let's make it a dog, right? So you have a chujaja, and you love this thing. You've had it since it was first weaned from its mother. It's been with you for like 20 years. Oh my gosh, Chihuahuas can live a long time. So it's been with you like 20 years, and then got sick and it died. Which that's sad, you got to mourn the death. Is it odd for you to stuff that Chihuahua and carry it around like it's still alive? Is, is that okay? Bring it with you to the store, bring it with you into your bed, bring it with you on vacation. Um, that sounds nasty, right? That sounds like deranged. Like, would you do that? Is that okay to do that? Like, what are you guys' thoughts? And you already know that's why no one's commenting. You already know things that make you go, hmm. I mean, would you? That's horrendous. You know. So Teresa, she says, no, but I have seen stories of some people doing that. So Teresa, what did you think? What did you think when you saw those stories? Right? What did you think? Was that healthy? Is that a healthy mindset? Or is that a little bit questionable? A little bit. I mean, I can understand um if people would stuff their pet and keep them at home, like maybe position the pet somewhere in the living room or whatever it is, but like literally carry your pet with you in the grocery store. um it's kind of just like, Uh, God. And that's what many of us do in our relationships. That's what many of us do. I had a best friend through my young adulthood. She's like my bestest friend ever, right? It's just an amazing friendship. She was even the godmother to all of my kids, and she was just my bestest friend. And over the years, the last maybe 3 years, because we were best friends for double digits, maybe the last 3 years, I realized, what are we doing? We don't talk. We don't go out. I have to be careful of what I say when I'm around you because I don't know if, you know, your narcissistic husband will use that as an excuse to tell you to cut me out of your life. For the last maybe 3 years, I tiptoed around because I knew her situation. And it wasn't our our friendship didn't die because of the two of us. Our friendship died because her husband asked her to choke that out, either through his actions or outright. And she complied. And so I held on for about 3 years until finally one day I was like, we're not best friends. Like, I love you so much, but we're not best friends. We're just not. We haven't been in a long time. But I loved you through it because I didn't want you to feel abandoned, because I knew it wasn't a decision you were making, but it actually was. It was. And I'd never put you in a position where you would have to choose me or him. That is a father of her children. So I will bow out with no explanation. I removed her from my social media and I disconnected my phone. And then I spent a year grieving that. And my husband would consistently ask me, like, are you serious? You're seriously not gonna, you're not gonna talk to her again? No. I heard everything that was left unsaid. I heard it with my heart. There's nothing left to communicate. If you don't have the courage to ask me to leave, to maintain whatever false peace you're trying to maintain in your marriage and your household, I will have the courage for both of us to do it for you. Because that's how I love. I love in a way that sets you free, even with you not asking me, even with you not telling me how confined you feel. If my presence violates your dignity in some way, even in a roundabout way, I will excuse myself from your life permanently. I will excuse myself with no discussion, no questions, no nothing. Because guess what? As Pisceans, as empaths, we observe people in our life for such a long time before we could ever make these types of drastic decisions. Over 3 years, I watched silently. Over 3 years, any time that she would come over, which is maybe like, what, twice a year, and usually only when they're having a very serious argument, I feel the need to ask her, like, are you sure he's not going to get mad that you're here? Like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm done feeling like I am contributing to your pain because I'm a good friend to you. I'm good. As long as I know you're good with the decision you made, I'm good with you. We have to make certain choices. Whatever these choices are, they will bring about change. If you make these decisions and then revert back to the same patterns, that change will then also revert back. Backward movement is still movement. It's still a type of flow. So flow in the direction you actually want to go. Denial, but it's in reverse. So you're no longer in denial. I forgot this card, self-worth. This is an entire process of you figuring out what your self-worth is. And maybe just maybe even the people who have been in our lives for 10, 15, 20 years have been in our lives simply to encourage us, either through support or adversity. They encourage us to learn what our self-worth is. And for those that are encouraging your growth and self-exploration through adversity, by the time you figure out the answer of who you are and what you're worth, their time with you is done. Because that's all they were really meant to do with you and for you. Love. There's so many different layers and levels to love, and it's up to you what you want to do with that. Okay. There's no one specific place that you have to continue to exist within that love. So the moon and then deceit. Something's being hidden. Something is being hidden. And it's almost this sense of like covert attempts to control. It's almost this sense of someone really, really being very manipulative. I don't want to dig into that because I feel like that's going into another topic. We haven't had a twin issue in the readings for a good amount of time. I'm liking that. Okay, I'm liking that. High Priestess of Fire. Really allowing yourself to become fiery in your passion, being passionate about your growth. Communication is key, but it's in reverse. So there's a lack of communication. Either you're not telling someone your plans, which for some of you, I don't think you should, or someone is not telling you their plans, which I don't know if they should or shouldn't. But if it's a situation where you consistently share of yourself and they never share of themselves, that's a bit weird. That's a bit weird. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm doing more for the connection than you are doing, because if I feel that, there's no connection. There's none. No, that's not true. Yeah, it is true, because I'll shut that off real quick. Tighten it. Tighten it. Just turn. Turn. I'm just saying, like, it has to be reciprocal or I'm not interested. I'm finally at a point in my life, and I worked so hard to get to this point where I'm not going to make excuses for you. If you don't want to match my effort, match my energy as I try and build something with you, demolish it all. Let me retrieve my pieces. I will build with someone else. I have value. I'm offering something major. If you can't see that, if you refuse to see that, if you disrespect that and disregard that, I'm out. I'm not even going to explain. I'm out. I'm out. If you're not going to take the time to get to know me the way I'm taking the time to get to know you, and it's not tit for tat, it's reciprocity. You can try and negate the positivity and empowerment that I am speaking of as much as you want. But the reality is this: there is nothing selfish, immature, tit for tat, or any of that crap that someone who wants to keep you enslaved in your own mental shackles they can't ever take this from me, because I'm not going to participate in their caca. I'm just not. But Emmy, it's really tit for tat. Okay, well, if it's tit for tat, what are you doing here if you don't like my tit for tat? That's how I am. That's who I am. Go find someone else. It's very simple. Oh my God, that's so immature. Okay, but if you have nothing good to say about me, why are you here? Are you trying to convince me to be something I'm not? Because this is what I am. This is who I am. And if you cannot appreciate me as I am, keep it moving. Oh my gosh, you're just going to throw me away. No, I mean, really, what you're telling me is you're about to throw me away if I don't become what you're telling me to become. Just throw me away. It's all good. No, it's all good. I mean, if I'm trash and you put me in the trash can, I'll be with my people. There's no loss to me. There's no loss to me. And when you can have that type of like just ownership, that bold ownership of who you are. Now, that's not to say I don't have room to grow. I don't have room to mature, to ripen. That's not to say any of that. That's to say this is who I am right now. And if you're impatient with my process, keep going. Find what you want for right now. I mean, yeah, you have the option of coming back. I have the option of not accepting you when you come back. Because, honey, if you only want me at my best, you're not going to get that. I'm at my best when I'm loved well. What's that mean? I mean, you're incapable of loving me in the way that I need, which is being loved well. I'll never be my best around you. It's best you just cut your losses and go. But you don't even want to try. No, see, that's the thing. You don't even understand how much I've tried. So if I'm not enough, just honor that, accept that. I'm not enough for you. Just like I'm realizing you're not enough for me. Put me in the trash. It's okay. That's where all my people are. All the people who are just like me. The castaways who think they're not worth anything. You know what's funny? My husband liked to do some mild dumpster diving when we lived in a condo. He loved to do mild dumpster diving. And people would throw things away because they saw no value in it anymore, right? Which that's I get it. I get it. Don't be a hoarder. Just if you're not going to use it, throw it away, sell it, whatever, get rid of it. And he wouldn't actually go in the dumpster, but if you leave things right outside the dumpster, um, if he sees like there's some type of market for that or whatever, he will bring it home. And I'm always like, oh my God, someone threw that away. Stop. And he taught me value. It has nothing to do with whether an item is brand new, never been touched, or used and well loved. Everything he brought home that was someone else's trash. Oh God, he sold it for so much. It was ridiculous. I was just like, what? Someone bought that for that much? He goes, yeah. Things still hold value. You just have to know. You just have to check. You have to know. That applies to people. That applies to people. The last community that threw me away, thank you. You opened up the potentiality for my people to arrive. I don't miss you at all. I'm not being catty or hurtful. I'm just being honest. I don't miss you at all. My people now, they're not some filler. They're like the gold that's used on cracked pottery. I forget the name of the art. It's from Japan. When you crack your pottery, when you break it accidentally, it doesn't lose its value. The practitioners of this art will fill that with actual gold. And so the more life breaks you, the more valuable you become, the more golden you are. And for the last community that tossed me away, I really am grateful. I'm grateful for your hatefulness. I'm grateful for the ways in which you tried to break me. You didn't make me who I am. All you did was open my eyes to see the truth of my people were coming to me, that I was being prepared for their arrival. And no, you have no more place in my life. I will not let you back in. I don't care what convinced you to do that to me, but the fact is, you had the capacity to do that. And I don't need a second go with you. I don't have the time, the space, nor the energy to fuck around and find out. I'm busy with my people, an entire community of amazing people just like me. We're busy learning our worth. We're busy changing the world. You can watch from the sidelines. Hell, you can even clap for us, but you'll never again be a part of us. Ever. It's not petty. It's realistic. The moment you showed me what you were capable of while I cried, that was the moment you gifted me with clarity. I'm grateful for the clarity, but you did not grow me. You did not empower me. You did not fortify me. You tried to throw me away, and you succeeded. You lost the best thing that ever came across your path. It's reality. I'm the best thing that you've ever come across in your life. And you'll continue to watch from the sidelines silently. That's okay. How's it feel to know that I know? You don't enter the live streams, you watch from outside. I know you do. I don't care though. Not because I'm petty, but because I'm busy enjoying loving my people. You'll never be that again. Ever. If I can remember what you did when I was at a low point, I will never let you back in. Ever. And if anyone who knows me knows, whew, when I make a decision and it's final, that bitch is final. You're not going to change my mind. You can try begging. You can donate to my sanctuary. You can donate to my sanctuary. I'm not saying I will let you back in after you donate. I'm saying you can donate to my sanctuary. That's all I'm saying. That's a complete statement. Donate to my sanctuary. soulworksynergistics.com. You can find how to donate there. The end of a tough cycle approaches. It's approaching. The end of it. It's approaching. You have to ask yourself, have you already been in a state of mourning? Some people might be like, if we give the example of relationships, right? Some people will be like, oh my gosh, their relationship just ended. And I can't believe, like, a month later, she's already dating new people. Yeah, but did you realize, were you aware? She had been mourning the end of that connection for the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You needed her to mourn even more just so you don't feel as tossed away as how you tossed her away. Thank you, Ocean Lover. To all my low-key fans that hate me but love me, go to that link, soulworksynergistics.com. Donate to my church. I'm serious. Donate to my church. And that's all I have to say. It's not going to get you back in, but maybe it'll make you feel better about being locked out. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Let me stop. See, that's a sarcasm. Nice. Oh my god! But y'all are not my kids. You didn't tell me that hurts your feelings. That's the sarcasm my kid was talking about. Right? It's tax deductible. Anyways, bring love into the situation. Bring love into your situation. Love for yourself. People will have all their opinions about the ways in which you're moving forward with your life. Keep moving forward. See, when people are like, oh my God, Emmy, so-and-so's talking behind your back. But see, that's the thing. They're behind my back. I'm moving on. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say. You know what I mean? I know you guys are kind of my kids. I'm sorry. Really, I'm sorry if you find that like a little bit offensive. Like, I love children more than adults. I'm just saying. So if I classify you as one of my kids, that means like it's a lot of love. It's a lot of love. I would literally fuck someone up on your behalf. Oh, I'm just saying, if I claim you as one of my children, like, mm-mm. I remember my nephew. Like, I totally, he's an adult now. I totally, I'm like, that's my baby. That's my baby. And he's a boxer, right? And one day he had a black eye. Y'all, I was like, get in the car. He's like, why? Where are we going? We're going back to the gym. You point out which motherfucker did this to your face. He goes, Auntie, nephew, get in my fucking car. We are going to that gym. Who are you sparring with? Point him out. I'ma fuck his ass up. He goes, Auntie, this is it's part of my training. He was trying to explain it to me. He's like being all dignitary. It's part of my training. I had headgear on. It's just I didn't cover my face. And I told him, well, we can put his headgear on him too. And if I'm pop him, I'm gonna pop him. You get in my car and point him out. Yeah. I was so serious. I was so serious. If you one of my babies, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. One time, this kid, my son told me, he was like, I want to say he was like 5, maybe 4. I don't know. He's like 5, I think. We were homeschooling, and I had gone to the school district, and I asked them, we were within the school district. I'm wondering if he can come for like the after school care just for socialization, so he could play with other kids his age. I can pay if it's a pay for type of program. And they said yes. And so I would walk him there, and he would just be there for like an hour, 2 hours, whatever. And then I would come back because we live very close. I would come back and I would pick him up, and we would walk home. Well, he tells me one day, like, one of the kids is being extra rough with him. And I'm like, well, did you tell him, like, this is my personal space? Don't touch me. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, then what did he do? And he's like, he tried to push him off the play structure. I was like, this motherfucker. And I was like, did you tell the people in charge? He's like, yeah. And I was like, what did they do? They're like, oh, nothing. Okay, baby. Are you sure you still want to keep going back? He goes, yeah. So I go to pick him up, and I'm like, I'm gonna talk to these people. They're like teenagers. And I'm like, hey, my son is telling me that there's an issue, like the kids are playing very rough, and that they're telling the people who are in charge, and no one's doing anything about his autonomy, his personal space. Like, and then I look and I see this kid has my kid's shirt. Like, he has his shirt, he's trying to push him off. And I was like, hey, the whole playground stops. Get your fucking hands off my kid. I will fuck your ass up. And they were like, oh my God, ma'am. And I said, you call his mother right now. I'm going to fuck her ass up. Tell her to bring the grandma. I'm going to kick her ass too for not teaching her daughter how to raise a kid. And they were like, I was like, call your mom, kid. They're like, no, 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 we don't need to call. I said, you need to do what you need to do. I'm going to do what I need to do, but nobody touches my kid, especially when I'm watching. Girl, they were like 5. They were like 5. He warned you. He told you his mama be gangsta. I'm just saying. And y'all, it was just, maybe he was slightly older because I remember I had a newborn on my chest. I had a newborn on my chest. He was tied onto me with like one of those native wraps. So he's stuck to my chest. And then I had like a young toddler in a stroller. I'm gonna fuck shit up. Hold the baby, hold the baby up. And then I'm like stomping home. I'm so pissed off. And then, like, I tell my husband, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Oh my god. Don't be fucking with my babies. So what I'm trying to say is, please don't be offended that I see you as one of my children, because I will defend the shit out of you. You don't even have to ask me. You don't have to ask me. If I see any atrocities, I will fuck shit up on your behalf. I'm just saying. Hold your vision though. Okay? Hold your vision. Allow yourself to have this very clear sight of what you're trying to accomplish for yourself in this period, and do it. Just go and do it. Right. Ocean Lover says no games played about the babies, elders either. For real. Mhm. I got a couple seats left in my heart for the elders. I love elders. Your dreams need a practical plan, but here's the thing, it's in reverse. So you don't necessarily have to be practical in the way you do this, simply because what you're doing is not about practicality. Take the time to breathe out. Okay, so it's in reverse. This is telling me that what you're doing is probably becoming anaerobic, not aerobic, but anaerobic. There's not enough air, there's not enough communication. With that, the muscles can still do what they need to do, but if you're not taking in enough air, you'll start to build lactic acid in the muscles. So this is telling you that you might be sore, you might be exhausted, you might have a limited range of motion after this cycle completes. What I'm trying to get at is, you're about to get your ass kicked by yourself. Your higher self is about to kick your ass. Don't worry, it leads to growth. You and your loved ones are safe. You see that? Germanica says, my siblings are crazy about me as well. Yep. Same Z's. Same Z's. Same Z's. I'm just saying, don't get yourself fucked up by my siblings. I'm just saying. All right. Okay, self-worth in reverse, gratitude. Don't be thankful for the people who mess up your version of, or your vision of your self-worth. Yeah, no, that whole conversation about be grateful for the people who traumatized you because they grew you. They did not grow you. You grew you. They wanted to destroy you. They wanted to harm you. And you said, fuck no, you're not. You did that. Be grateful to yourself, okay? Walk your truth choices. You have so many choices laid out before you. You have all these different options. Walk your truth towards the option that you choose. And yes, options. You have options. Some people be like, oh my God, Emmy, you're so toxic. Why are you telling people they have options when it comes to relationships? Because they do, you fucking control freak. Because they do. They don't have to settle for you. Don't ask me questions if you don't want me to answer you. I'm just saying. That's probably what you do in your relationship, and you're pissed off because you can't do that to me. Yeah. That's too bad. Unconditional love in reverse. Unconditional love is not about enablement. It's not about letting people continue to be the putito that they are. Orale pues, don't be a putito, okay? I'm just saying. Don't make another shade of brown come out me right now. Don't be a fucking putito. People be thinking they could be that, but no one's going to hold them accountable. I will. I'm not just raising my hand. I'm warning you that if you try with me, I will slap you. Just, okay? That's not me raising my hand. That's me warning you. I will slap you with all 5 fingers. You see how fucking alien long my fingers are? I'm just saying. And I have a wide grip. I'll get your whole fucking face. It's not even a slap, it's a Buddha palm. Bring the peace back to you. Bring back the Zen. Don't make me Buddha palm your ass. Just saying. You're talking to a wild woman that's a free spirit with emotions. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? This is me missing your bullshit. See, you tried and it's, ooh, I missed it. You missed me. It's all good, you guys. You can have fun with your life, even when you're telling someone off. So, balance, Mother Earth. You need to begin balancing your life. Too much of your concern is being placed on someone else's entitled perception. So, I knew it. Okay, mirrored souls and intuition. My intuition told me that for some of you, this has to do with a twin. Can I roll my eyes any harder without injury? Okay, soul journey, redirection. For some of you, you're not on the journey yet and you're being redirected before you start because of the fact that your soul journey is you're calibrated in the wrong direction already. So it's better to calibrate yourself before you start the journey rather than needing to correct your trajectory once it's already launched. Flow sigil and new dimension. Ooh. I'm getting hot. Ooh. Oh. You have to flow in the space that you're in right now. This is not about rising to a higher level of consciousness. This is about correcting and recalibrating the level of consciousness you're at right now. You have to do that before you launch forward into a new space. Why? Because you want to land in the right place, right? Parasitic, reborn from shadows. Okay. You could totally turn these fuckers up on their head and just leave them like that. I'm saying you can. You can. You can your exit is gonna turn them upside down. Is gonna turn them upside down. Who cares? If they haven't cared for you in a long time, if they haven't considered your feelings in a long time, I mean, as long as you're not doing things with the intention, the cognitive intention to cause them harm, like what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Literally, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you walking away. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. Card number 14, natural endings. Some things just naturally have to end. Michael tried to slip this in here. I juked you. I juked him. I juked Michaela. Reading's almost done. Card number 52, twin ray healing. So this is about healing your mirror. Looking in someone's eyes who mirrors you, and healing yourself based on what you see. Healing these aspects of you that maybe you're not wanting to look at because it's difficult to see yourself in that way. How do we recalibrate? Recalibration is extremely difficult because of the fact that it requires you to be fully aware of all the components that are at the forefront of you. So it doesn't necessarily have to do with shadow work. It has to do with accountability. Shadow work is what you do after you've recalibrated. There's no point in doing shadow work when you're already wonky. There's just no point. People will tell you, like, you got to do shadow work and inner child work. Okay, but if you are standing on your tippy toes of 1 foot and your leg is cramping, how are you ever going to consider carrying an extra 500-pound load and really expect yourself to be able to balance that? You can't. You can't. One of the things that I learned on my fitness journey, it has a lot to do with proper positioning, proper placement, proper form. There is no way in hell I can lift a considerable amount unless I have the proper form to begin with. If my feet are not at the proper angle that they need to be at, if they are rotated in any way, shape, or form, a different set of muscles will be activated in my quadriceps. And if I'm using muscles that are atrophied in my quadriceps because I have a muscle imbalance, I will injure myself severely. Severely. Did you know that when you place your feet like this, your toes, um, on that sled to go ahead and do a leg press, that's activating inner, central, and outer thighs. It's activating different part of your thighs. And if you have a muscle imbalance and you're putting much of that load on your weakest, most atrophied muscle, you're going to get hurt. You really, really are. And so recalibrating is something as simple as turning your toes the proper way. But you won't know this unless you know your body. Unless you know yourself, you won't know what type of compensation is necessary to fortify you as you begin to strengthen what's weak inside you. It's about accountability. It's about being very, very honest with yourself. The ways in which I've made tremendous progress for myself with my personal journey is not just accountability, but really, really just being able to call myself out without the venom involved, right? Not using any type of poisonous language towards myself. Like if I go ahead and I get triggered and I'm reverting back to old behaviors, Oaklandish, hello. uh yeah, no, I don't need to start rolling my neck and getting all ratchet and I don't need to take my hoop earrings off. Like, no, girl, put your earrings back on. That's how I talk to myself at this point. Like, girl, stop. It's not even worth being mad. It's not. But really, why are you mad? Is it because of this? Or is it because it's reminding you of mm, back there? Well, I mean, what happened back then? And I'll have conversations with myself. You know what happened back then. You knew before all of that actually happened, but you didn't want to listen. But now, you've learned from that. You've helped yourself to collect all your parts. You're kind of in a space where you get it. You get what this feeling in your belly means. It means the potentiality of a repeat of cycles you don't want to repeat. So just bow out. You don't have to argue. You don't have to explain. Just bow out. You don't want to be part of that. You don't want to be part of that. You don't have to force yourself. But people might think, I mean, girl, those were the same people who were going to talk shit about you anyways later on. Who cares? And then I'm not upset. I'm simply like, that's true. Anywho, that's how my process goes at this point. It's a very gentle process at this point. Whereas before, it'd be like, bitch, did you not learn the last time? Why are you like, you are so dumb. You are so. I don't need to talk to myself like that anymore. What I need is to calmly hold myself accountable for the decisions I've made and make different decisions with this same situation that's presented before me again, right here, right now. It does not matter that the players are different. When you feel the old situation in front of you right now with new players, new characters, it's still the same situation. It's still the same situation. And so we have to allow ourselves to recognize people for what they are and who they are. Opportunities for you to apply what you've learned way back there, right here, right now. And that's how you turn knowledge into wisdom. That's the goal, guys. Allowing ourselves to be immersed in a space so sacred that you can take all of these tools, this entire freaking warehouse of equipment that you didn't think you knew how to use, but you actually do. You actually do. All of these experiences that you've had in the past can be applied to the now. You can apply that knowledge that you've acquired, and that's wisdom. When you can do that, you've entered into a space that can now allow you to walk with your head held high, not because you think you're better, but because you know you're better than the person you used to be. Has nothing to do with anyone else in your environment, and everything to do with which part of you you're going to allow to lead all the other parts of you. We got this life. We really, really do. We got this life. We can handle any situation. It's okay to cry. It's okay to break down in order to break open. It's okay to be in a process. It's okay for that process to take long. It's okay to revert because just like the arrow, sometimes you have to be pulled back in order to load a charge to launch you that much further forward. Everything is okay. Deal with each situation as it comes. Change is coming. Change is coming. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be profound. Whether you are present and give permission for that change or not, it will still be those things. But when you are present and you give yourself permission, you won't spend the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years trying to quantify why you went through that. You'll be able to go through that and really be in that, learn and grow from that as you exit. It's not going to be a delayed processing anymore. Okay. So that's the most powerful thing you can do for yourself in this journey. I hope that whoever needed to hear something that I said, I hope you got the message that you got. I hope you question how that message applies to your life and that you begin choosing yourself. Whatever the other options are, if it's not you, it's not worth it. It's just not. So, guys, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here for church. Bye, guys.